Okay, we're ready.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our Monday night team call. This is exciting. We've got some new faces on tonight. And as we step into summer, I thought this was a really, really awesome time to introduce one of my favorite people on the planet, Caprice Crebar, who is a sideline friend that I've grown up in the business with. And many of you probably recognize her face and know her. Um, but I asked her to come on tonight specifically and talk to our team because I have so much admiration for Caprice and the way she runs her business and the consistency with which she's really dedicated to this over the years. And her team is on fire right now, and it's always fun to kind of tap into that energy and see what they're doing and all that good stuff. And I really just wanted to introduce her to all of you and to have her come and share her story a little bit in hopes that it'll inspire y'all to jump on in and take that next step. So Caprice, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Melissa. It was a real pleasure and a little scary because this really is my very first outside of my own team training. So thank you, Melissa, for giving me the opportunity. Awesome. And, it's a real thrill for me because I've looked up to Melissa all these years. I mean, she's really been such an inspiration to me, and still to this day, she's one of those people like, when Julie Herbst does something, you say, I'll do whatever Julie Herbst says. That's how I feel about Melissa. Whenever she does something, I'm going to do whatever Melissa did. So it's really awesome to be invited to be here today. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my story and what I've experienced over the years that I've been in this business. And it's just been, I feel really happy that for whatever reason I was a person that was open to hearing this message and willing to be invited in and then took it. So and you all are the same. So I mean, just feel thankful that you had that kind of personality to be open, because we all know we come across the people that aren't, and it's just their loss. But I also came from the corporate world. I worked in telecommunications. I was 16 years in, and I had 3 little boys under the age of 5. Well, of course, they started out younger than that, but when I finally quit, they were that's how much they were. But I traveled a ton. It was really tough because I was gone sometimes up to 10 days a month, and I had, a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and 5-year-old, and it was tough. I had a nanny. They were pretty much raised at the McDonald's play place. So I had a lot of guilt over my mothering, basically falling short in a lot of areas because I had to put my job first. I mean, when you're making a strong 6-figure income and you've got responsibilities, I'm ashamed to admit, sometimes screaming through the door saying, get those kids out of here. And that's literally what my life was. I started out in Northern California, moved here to Southern California, and my office downstairs is where I did all my work, and then I traveled in between. So when they were little and the nanny took them, it wasn't as big of a deal. But when they started to know that I was behind the doors and they wanted their mommy and they didn't want to be dragged somewhere else, it became very, very tough. And I spent a lot of time whining and dining with people that I had just no interest in really spending time with. I just had to make the sale, and that was it. So it became very stressful. I was very guilty, and I was very unfulfilled. So I had a 3-year plan to quit, and then that turned into a 5-year plan. And finally, my husband, thankfully, I do. I feel grateful that he got to a point in his career where it was okay. We were going to be able to make it without my income. So I was finally able to be home with the kids, which was incredible. I no longer had to hide in closets on the phone or just basically I got to put them first, which I didn't do for all those years. And so when I was an entrepreneur at heart, that's all I ever did. When I went to college, when I had my internship, when I got my first job, when I promoted, I mean, I was always entrepreneurial, and I always liked to make a difference. And so I just had that fire in me still when I quit. So I was very open to something that would allow me to have my own business card, to as a woman, be able to build something that would allow me to stand on my own feet. I mean, by no means does it mean that, I ever expect to not be married or, but I just think that women should be able to, facing some kind of catastrophe, be able to stand on their own. So that was important. And I came across a friend who happened to be Lisa Blaisdell when I moved here to Southern California. Her oldest daughter, Ellie, and my oldest son, Robbie, were in first grade together. So I had Phil and Lisa over for a barbecue. They were new friends. Lisa happened to be in the same business, the same industry as I was, and we just really connected. We were very much alike, from as far as our history and our careers. And so she told me that she'd found this Juice Plus, and it was her plan to retire from her current job, and we both had the same guilt and stress related to our neglecting our families. And so I was attracted to that, and I decided that that's what I was going to do too. So fast forward, I've been able to raise my kids. They're 19, 16, and almost 14 now. They're all boys. They've all been raised as part of the Juice Plus community. They've all been raised on Juice Plus. I'm still the Juice Plus Nazi. Right. When people tell me, I met with somebody today, and a prospect, and she told me that her kids they're 7 and 10. They would not take the Juice Plus chewables. They just, and I told her, I said, you know what? It's been almost 14 years since we've been on Juice Plus, and I still ask them every single day, have you taken the Juice Plus? Did you brush your teeth? Did you make your bed? Did you put your seatbelt on? Did you take your Juice Plus? I mean, it's just, those are the 4 key things. So fast forward, I have worked daily. I mean, for the last 11, almost 12 years since I've been a distributor, I've worked daily on my business because I love it. I don't ever feel like it's a job. I don't feel like it's an obligation. It's just natural, because I know with beyond a shadow of a doubt the difference that Juice Plus makes for people and the business makes for people. So the next big goal that I'm really, really close to, I can smell it, is QNMD. Yeah. And then, NMD is a sniff away from that. So I'm really, really excited. And it's taken me 11 years to do this. But, I would not trade my journey, and I would not trade the pay that I've been paid over the last 11 years. It's nothing to shake a stick at. I've been paid a lot of money. So, yes, would I like to make that large sum in 1 year? Yeah, I will one day. But the fact that they paid it to me, I mean, it's been phenomenal. So it was a slower road than some people go, but it was perfect for my journey. Mm-hmm. So it allowed me to go at the pace that I needed to make my family a priority. Mm-hmm. And over the past couple of years, since the boys have gotten older, they're more independent. I have more freedom now. So I have picked up the activity level of meeting people and phone calls, and I've been able to fit more in because they don't need me as much anymore. But nowadays, I mean, look at Melissa, how well that she integrates her kids into her business. It's just really phenomenal. And so it can be done.
Perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect, but.
Okay, can I tell you just a really quick, this is tangent, but I think I can still fit it all into our time frame. So Lisa had her team call last week. Mm-hmm. And I was cooking. I was multitasking. I had one kid going to Boy Scouts. He had something he had to prepare for it. I was cooking dinner. I thought I'd put the call on mute and sit it on the counter. Well, I didn't have it on mute like I thought. And so I ended up screaming. Literally, it was one of those mom frustrated moments because I was trying to do all this and I needed him to get ready, be ready for the Boy Scouts. And I yelled. I mean, it wasn't ugly, but it was just yelling. It was just yelling upstairs. And I turned around and saw that it wasn't on mute, and I just freaked out. And I asked a few people. They said they couldn't really hear it, so maybe it was muffled. But oh my gosh, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's totally doable. So
it's real, right?
Yeah, it's real, and that's what's awesome is we can be real in this business. So the business is a journey, and everyone's journey is different. I mean, your journey is meant for your life. And, once I make my mind up to achieve something, I don't stop until I get it, no matter how long it takes to get it. And years ago, you're probably all familiar with the name Julie Herbst, and if you're not, I'm sure you've learned from her without even knowing it. She said something that really resonated with me. She said that 5 years is going to pass anyway. And I thought, when I heard that, I thought, you know what? She's right. Even doing a little bit now is going to amount to more in 5 years than if I'd done nothing. So that really drove me to take this a little more seriously. And it was a lot easier with this business that I love, and I feel so lucky to be a part of, to touch my business every single day. I mean, other than on vacation, I try to peel it, stand back a little bit, but for the most part, I've done something to fuel my business every day for 11 years. And it's easy because it is the Juice Plus company and because of the kind of business it is. I am reading some notes, so if I look up, it's just because I'm looking at some notes. So because of the fact that it's more than a career, it's a legacy for me, really. It's a way that I'm able to leave my mark here. And that's very important to me. And I've been able to demonstrate for my children, the importance of doing that too, which, I didn't get to start with all three of my kids teaching that, as through this business, as someone like Melissa has and Danielle, because your kids all of them were so young when you've revved up your business. I was a little slow going in the beginning, but because of the way I feel about this, I've built a strong brand. People know what I represent. I'm really, really consistent with my message, what I convey in social media. If I have asked people, and it's a good exercise to do, go online and just ask people what word or a couple of words do they think of when they think of you. It'll be a real quick way to find out, how you're branding yourself. But I put forth confidence in the value of what I offer. And it's really been the key to my success, because people get to know, they know where to go when life happens to them. And they remember that Caprice still stands behind Juice Plus. And if you present that and you're really consistent about your belief, it doesn't have to be annoying. It's just presenting that healthy lifestyle and just being consistent about what's important to you in the public, then you will be the person that they come to when, there's a lot of people. I mean, I've had people for years who did not respond to anything. I almost had a little bit of a little bit on my chicken list because, they haven't even responded to anything in 5 years, who have called me after 5 years when they got a diagnosis. So, that's sad that some people wait until it's, they've already gotten sick, but what a joy it is when we help people that get it before then. And I love that about this business. So I'm going to give you just a couple lessons from my mom and dad. So my dad, he taught me a lot about perseverance. He was an FBI agent. He was a really 35-year FBI agent that was really well respected and just a good person, a do-gooder. And he taught me perseverance, and he would always inspire me with quotes. I think that's one of the reasons why I love quotes and I love sharing quotes, because my dad instilled that in me. And his favorite quote, and this was one that he sent me with my rent check when I was going to college. He would just put quotes in. And then he also, when I got my first job in telecom, I sent him a letter with the quote in it. So the quote is from Theodore Roosevelt, and it's, "Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered with failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy victory nor defeat." I'm sorry, I skipped a line there in my notes. Who neither enjoy much or suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. So basically, you just want to try everything. We have so many tools and things. Some I've been afraid to use, like Facebook Live. But when you stretch a little bit and you put yourself out there and you're not afraid to fall, you will have victory. You'll succeed, because we can only succeed after we've tried things and failed at some and won at others. So, but that quote really motivated me. And you know, if you mess up or don't say something right, like I was a little afraid of this call because I felt like, what if I stumble? What if I'm not adding value? You know, it's okay. It's okay because, like Melissa said, we don't
Don't
have
be
to. We
silly.
don't have to be perfect, and it makes us look relatable and normal. And you know, every time you try something that you might have a little fear about, you know, we stretch and we grow in our branding and in our confidence. So I just encourage you with that quote from my dad. And my mom, she taught me to be genuine, and she taught me to be positive and non-judgmental, to love the good in everybody, and to never give up on anyone. I love Wendy Campbell always said, you know, years ago, it was one of the things she said that stuck with me forever, to love, I love everyone who's on my team, whether they do a little or a lot, because one person that you get on G's Plus is going to change somebody's life. I meet people where they're at, and I've had a lot of people that, because life happened, maybe they slowed down a little bit with their business, but you know what? I've got many that came back and they are on fire like never before. So I'm always there for anybody that needs me, and you know, this is your business, so you do with it what you need in your life, and just know that Melissa, Danielle, all the leaders are there to support you in whatever your goal is. So I want the attitude that my mom taught me about loving the good in everyone, never giving up on anyone, being genuine, positive, non-judgmental. What it did is it created an attitude in me that's really helped me appreciate others and to attract and build relationships. And that's really the lifeblood of our business. So I encourage you to adopt, you know, some of those characteristics. And I really feel grateful that my mom just, you know, had taught me those things. So I wanted to share some things that I've seen on your team and that I've really admired. And, you know, everything trickles from the top down. So, you know, Melissa's a leader, but so is Danielle, and so is Jen. I mean, you're all leaders, you know, growing leaders. So, you know, what you believe and what you model is going to pass down to your team. And I think that Melissa's just done a fantastic job in these areas. And one of them is dreaming big, you know, dreaming big. She's always dreamt big. Her consistency and her perseverance have been, you know, they've just been tops. And you all know Melissa's story. You know, talk about being unshakable and having determination. You know, it's like I like to correlate her to the star quarterback. You know, she had the football and she's running the entire length of the field, you know, through and around all these obstacles, and she scores the touchdown, and one of many. And the key to that touchdown and the many touchdowns is you. It's the team, a team who's strong, who's unshakable, who leans on each other, who has each other's back, who supports one another, you know, who's focused on the collective goal, so that you always score together. And that's how I see Melissa, you know, has done a fantastic job in just cultivating that culture. And so you guys are just so lucky to be a part of her team. I'm so lucky to be her sideline buddy.
I'm so lucky to be part of this team. I pinch myself every day that I get to work with these people.
Well, you attract like attracts like attracts like. I mean, that's basically what it is. Like attracts like. So, you know, that's the true beauty of our business, that we're better together. You know, I don't really know any business where each person's success is dependent on helping our team members succeed, and vice versa. You know, I also don't know of any companies that provide so many tools and training to help us do that. So, you know, take advantage of as much of it as you possibly can. And then dreaming big. I mean, Melissa has always set stretch goals for herself, I mean, and her team. And honestly, there were times when I kind of like, you know, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, you know, yeah, right.
Smoking, yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, Melissa's gonna, you know, do that, right? And
corporate says that to me too, and then they go, "Good job," when it's done. You know.
I know, but
not until you get through the door. That's my whole philosophy.
Right. So, you know, I've seen her achieve and exceed because she's maintained this mentality of expectancy and abundance, and she never doubts herself and her team. And that's just a really amazing quality to have. And, you know, I'm striving to be that way too. I just think it's an example that's great for every one of us. And
Well, and the beauty in that, I just need to say this, is that that's what you guys, the only reason that I ever drove myself in that direction was because I wanted to prove that you can do that too. Like I find nothing more powerful than making a decision and following through with it rather than taking what's been handed to you. Does that make sense? Like, it's your life, your business, your paycheck, your income, your customer base, your team, and just making those steps and those choices are really what drives you. And we're here to support that too. And that's the beauty part, is you're not alone in it, Yeah.
Yeah. And inspiring and innovative. I could go on and on about what impresses me about your team and what's helping drive your growth. But the last thing I want to mention is just the innovation. I mean, that comes from the top. It permeates your team culture, and you can pass that on from generation to generation. Melissa's always coming up. She's not reinventing the wheel, but she just enhances the wheel. She just, in all the cool things that are just, from her brain, that I want to copy all the time. I mean, that's another just really unique thing. And it's not something that's absolutely necessary. You don't all have to feel like you have to all be these innovative people. I mean, just copy everything Melissa does. But I just think it's really cool that
it's not just me. I gotta give a huge shout out to my sidekicks. I got a handful of them on the team here. Yeah.
So I think it's a really unique and awesome thing about your team. So, now as far as my business now, I want to share that, I have never been more excited than I am now in this business. After 11 years, after, 13 plus years of being on the product, there's never been a more exciting time because of my team. It really is all about team. And when your team members become independent, when they're becoming leaders of their own teams, and you get to help them experience the same success that you have, it's almost magical. There's something magical about it. And I remember when this was happening to your team, Melissa, when you just got that burst of momentum that just hasn't stopped since. That's how it feels now. And it's when the momentum of the business shifts that each day just becomes full of gratitude. Every day you're just grateful. It's also awesome that my team members can hurdle through the comp plan so much faster than we could many years ago, when we didn't have so many proven tools and we didn't have the fast track program. Back when we started, Melissa and I, the company shipped a hard copy manual startup guide. It was like about this thick.
And there were no bonuses.
There were no fast track bonuses. We had no website. We had to fax in our orders. And can you believe we're still here? We stuck through it. We had to fax through the orders. We used to lovingly joke that it was a get rich slow program. Remember? But I mean, still, it was still rewarding and wonderful. That's why we're still here. But all I'm saying is that, you guys have it. So, I mean, there's so much to allow you just to fly, so much faster. So I love that, even though it's been a longer track for me, that I can help people do it, achieve where I'm at, even in a year, and so much faster. And that it makes it just awesome. And I wanted to share that just to also illustrate how we were in the dinosaur age. I still kept it was a white little cassette tape that Lisa Blaisdell gave me when she was introducing Juice Plus to me.
I at least had CDs. I didn't
no, so I was before your time, yeah. So I have a white cassette tape. The only doctor recording that we had. Lisa had to make her own homemade labels that said Lisa Blaisdell, Richard Du Bois, and it was Dr. Richard Du Bois. But that was all we had. So just if we could do it, you could do it. That's all I'm saying. And then we were so cutting edge. That's another thing I love about our company. We were cutting edge back then, and we're cutting edge now, and we'll always be cutting edge because that's how our company is. And we were teaching people back then what high fructose corn syrup was. We were teaching people what kale was. Because back then,
were the original food babes. I mean, literally, like, house to house, yeah, exactly. And they were like, no, that wouldn't be, come on, the FDA wouldn't put it in a cereal box if it wasn't safe. Like, I remember having those conversations, you're like, well.
Yeah, I mean, kale used to be what they decorated the salad bar with. Nobody ate it, but so we were just really on the cutting edge. So appreciate that about the company you're with, because if you stay immersed in the education that they give us, we're always ahead. We knew what GMOs were before anybody else did. So I really value that privilege that we get with this company. And now the whole world's advertising it for us. So we're, everywhere you look, they're saying we need more whole food, more fruits and vegetables. We didn't have that then. So the media is supporting you now, which is fantastic. I've also been the witness to so many health improvement stories in the time that I've been involved with this company. And it's not like you could be a brand new rep and not have the personal experience, because there's so much that's shared, that we have access to. But over time, when you get the rewarding feeling of helping a Crohn's diseased person who's almost died, my friend Dave, who's been on Juice Plus 9 years, who they say looks way better than a typical Crohn's patient because he can get nutrients he can't eat. When you have a customer who a few months ago called me who has cancer, that for a year she's been struggling with her blood cell counts not being in the right place. 4 months into Juice Plus and they're normalized. So when you start to have those kind of experience in your own customer base, and with, Melissa told me a story of her, I trust her. There is nothing that will ever shake my belief in Juice Plus, ever. So those are the, just what makes this so exciting. And then, there's been so many tools. we've kind of mentioned some of them, that have come and go over the years. And, what really holds true in our business, I mean, there's probably many more things than this, but they're just some things that came to the top of my head. I wanted to list for you and just end here. That, use the tools that are provided for us. You can build upon them, but don't reinvent the wheel. There's so much that's proven to work. And if you just use the tools and the systems in place, you can't fail. The tools evolve, but the systems, the way you execute the use of the tools, never change. So if you're consistent, you communicate them well, you execute them regularly, consistency. You're going to they're going to work for you. Be consistent in your activity, your systems, your message, your example. Always be consistent with those things. Always model success behaviors for your team. Your leaders have done so well at that. Always model success behaviors. Love on your team. Appreciate them. Give them props. I know Melissa's always got these reward programs going on, which I think is so great. But I don't know anyone that does it better than her and your team. Dream big. Don't ever lose faith in what you're capable of. Always work together. That's hashtag better together. We see that a lot. And I've been through cycles of my business where I haven't worked as closely together with people for whatever reason. Life happens, and I can tell you that when you lock arms with your upline, your sidelines, and you do this business together, and you really rely on each other, that's when momentum really accelerates. And I can tell you from personal experience that don't ever go it alone.
Yeah. And people respond to that collective energy always,
Yeah, it's a vibration. It's a vibration on your team that happens.
How you interact, they see the trust and the care there. And
yeah, because even, everybody, the truth is that we're all, you're intrinsically, your incomes are tied to each other.
Right.
And even if your sideline buddies direct to Melissa, they're still tied, because when you succeed and you're celebrated, it creates a vibration, a momentum for the entire team.
Right.
So don't ever forget that. It's really important. And another quote, I forgot who said this, but I'll end on this. This was another one. I use it all the time. I've been using it for years and years and years. But if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you get. I think that might have been another Julie Herbst thing. So what more can you do tomorrow? Is there a tool you haven't tried yet? Would a little dose of bravery help you place a phone call you've been procrastinating on because you're fearful of what they might think? that call might be what shifts the momentum of your business. So status quo doesn't move you forward. It doesn't stretch you. It doesn't grow you. So just remember, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're just going to keep on getting what you get. So try some different things, and you guys are going to succeed in whatever you set out to achieve.
And in the same token, if you're doing things that are producing results, keep doing those things, right? Don't shift gears, just stay the course, because it's that consistency, Caprice, that I've witnessed in you for all these years that just builds, unbuilds, and it's layers of that. You know, you can, our marketing plan is so unique in that you can go really fast right now, but I'm watching a lot of NMDs that have gotten there in 2-3 years, and they've got really weak legs. You know, and so the table's falling a little bit and it's hard, and they're like, you know, sad, like, how do I do this? But when you stay consistent over time and you accept the fact that it's an ebb and flow type of a business, and you have to really go wide and build stability, build extra, you know, placements into your structure, so that if one of those things happen, like what happened to me, I mean, I took 3 years off to raise kids and came back. You know, my paycheck was stable all the way, but the numbers at some point started to go down, you know, and so it's that kind of thing, right? That, you know, you really, this consistency piece is critical for long-term residual income. And I think that's the kind of income that we're all really striving to be. You wouldn't be on here so late at night if you weren't. So Caprice, thank you.
Enjoyed seeing all your faces. Thanks for jumping on and wanting to hear what I had to say. Hopefully
you're awesome. We love you. We love you. You have your call, right? I don't want to keep you because I don't want to keep you from being late, but do you have to?
I don't tonight. I do that once a month.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you have time for a couple questions if anybody has any? Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask of Caprice? As we're all, and you know, one of the things I said to her as we were doing this and preparing for it was, I said, you know, it's so much of the time on calls like this, we get, you know, these like big heavy hitters that have got like, you know, 1,000, 5,000 people in their downline and all this stuff. I said, but for me, what's most relatable and the people that I learn from the most are the people in the trenches doing the do. You know, it's the people achieving the levels now, like the ones that are going through it in our time, in our, you know, experience to really draw from what's working for them and all of that. So I really just so admire you, and I'm really grateful that you came on tonight.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Caprice. And I want to say too, because I've been watching you since I've been doing this too, and I've always watched you be so consistent. And when you talk about branding too, like I've watched you on social media, and I can tell even from being across the country that you have set yourself out as someone in your community that knows about health, that would be a resource, that would know how to help somebody if they're looking to get healthier, unfortunately, or diagnosed with a disease, whatever it might be. Like, you've done such an excellent job that it's been cool to watch you through the years. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
It has been awesome. I appreciate that you said that. Yeah, and ditto.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I wish you guys all a really awesome week, and let's just go out and have a great month. It's going to be a fun activity, you know, high activity month, which is always exciting. So
thanks, Caprice.
Look forward to seeing all the homes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everybody.
Friends and family with me tomorrow, so you'll hear her voice again.
Oh.
Yes, thank you for reminding everybody of that. Friends and family call tomorrow. We'll post up the information now. But Mia, do you want to say a little bit about that real quick, since you've been a part of that?
I'm gonna stop. Well, other than it's every Tuesday night through the summertime. It's 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
And we share. There's 3 stories shared. We share about the Juice Plus products, the Complete, the bars, the Tower Garden, and then also the business. So it's a really great opportunity for any new team members to get on, anyone you're inviting in to take a peek about the products or the business, whatever it might be, because everything is covered and it's a phone call. So it's super easy and very, you know, non-threatening, if you will.
Yeah.
And they've been very successful. That's
okay. All right. Have a great night, you guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.